It's really hard to explain. How do you explain an experience? How God can take lessons that He's been teaching you personally and use this Mary's Place retreat to they just literally swelled up in me. And there was a point on the last day of the retreat where I was just, my mind and my heart were just going. And I was writing, and I was just seeing this visual picture of the lessons that God had taught me. And it was just an incredible confirmation that God was speaking to me, that He had been speaking to me, that I had been hearing Him.
You know, most people want to connect with God in prayer. I mean, we know we should, but boy, do we struggle. You know, we'll make a New Year's resolution, get a new Bible, start journaling, read another book on the spiritual disciplines, but nothing really works that lasts anyways. Well, we found a solution. It's a process. It's a reorientation process. How to make deep commitments toward a life of prayer that really lasts. And it changed our lives. And we offer this solution in a ministry that we call Mary's Place.
Luke 10:38 tells us about a time when Jesus went to visit the home of two sisters. And Martha, she got distracted by all the work that had to be done. But Mary positioned herself so that she could connect with Jesus. And Jesus said that she had chosen the only one thing that was necessary, and that is Mary's Place.
So for years now, we've been leading pastors and people and churches through this process in seminars and retreats to help them put themselves in that place of connecting with God, you know, Mary's Place. The process, which is spelled out in our guidebook, works. It works because the fresh scriptural insights in the material refocuses and enlarges people's view of prayer and really motivates them like never before.
When you have an idea of how you've heard Scripture explained time after time after time, and then to go through the materials and see the fresh way that it was presented, to come about and look at it from a totally different angle. And not only do you look at it from a different angle, but the Lord speaks to your soul in a way that you get it. But I think it was kind of a popcorn effect of how we all received an understanding and revelation of Scripture in phase one of the first part of Mary's Place. And it was phenomenal.
So, what is it about Mary's Place? Well, first, it's about transforming people's thinking about prayer. It's more compelling than ever before. And that prepares them to make a stronger commitment than ever before. But commitments, especially those like prayer, are hard to keep.
Yeah, but why? I mean, you know, if I really cared, I'd be able to keep a consistent prayer life, wouldn't I? I mean, that's what we think. You know, there's got to be something wrong with my heart. But that's not what Jesus said. You remember the time that Jesus asked His disciples to just pray with Him for an hour, and they fell asleep? I mean, it sounds familiar. But Jesus didn't get mad at them or accuse them of not caring enough. What did He say? Well, He said, the spirit is willing. In other words, it's not a problem with your heart. It's the flesh that's weak. It's the physical realities of life that make it hard.
How do I maintain that connection with God on an ongoing basis? And part two of Mary's Place addresses that. You know, how do you make this a part of your everyday life? A reorientation of your life.
Most Christians sincerely want to pray, but everyday life creates so many distractions, and that's what our unique process helps you deal with. We help you create a reorientation plan that develops out of times of examination, just you and the Lord, to identify your true, deep longings, and then very specifically, all the obstacles to prayer in your life, both internal and external. And then we teach you some key steps, like one that we call the relentless how, for discovering the necessary changes and the smaller commitments in your daily life that will help you follow through on your life commitment to prayer.
You know, throughout this process, we know that you'll encounter the Lord because we know He longs to meet you. He'll help you see what you need to see, and you'll hear Him and reconnect with His faithful, loving Spirit.
So we'd love to take you through this process in one of our retreats or seminars. We'll help you get a small group or two started. We'll even come to help your whole church become a praying church. The teaching's transformational, and the process works, and Jesus said the only thing that's necessary is prayer. So how about choosing Mary's Place?
I guarantee you, if you would go to a Mary's Place retreat, you would discover that prayer is not a performance. It's not something that you have to practice to be good at. It's actually someone that you become. You become a prayer. Someone who looks at all of life through God's eyes. Someone who takes everything in their life and exposes it to the glory of God's presence. So I would strongly recommend any church take part in this. It's just a powerful way to show how simple it is to get prayer into your life.